Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio.
Good morning.
It ain't even good evening. Yes, we don't know what it is.
Hey. Evening peace. That's what it's called.
I don't want to say evening peace. That sounds.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hey y'all. Hey.
Hey y'all. Hey.
Good evening. Good evening. Good
Good
evening.
evening.
That's what's up.
It's
And
my
you're tuning in with
podcast.
My Sis podcast.
My Sis podcast.
Welcome. Hey y'all. Hey.
What's going on?
I really have a hard time, like, you have doing all of this simultaneously while we go on and everything, and then sharing, and then making sure that
it's
you're
hard to share
sir,
when you go on.
Sir, but you're not talking.
Yeah, I'm doing a whole lot more than just talking.
You're right.
Is my mic okay? Because why do I feel like my mic is slow?
No, you good.
No,
Okay.
I hear you.
Hey,
Good
Kim.
morning.
Somebody asked me to tag
Why do
them.
I keep saying good morning?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Good
As
afternoon.
you used to saying good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's
Good
his name
evening,
on
good
here?
evening. It's
Somebody
after
told me to
5.
tag them. I can't remember what their name
Hey,
is on
T-Bot.
Facebook,
Hey,
though.
girl.
Oh, it's
We
this
in this
one.
thing.
Red, this
Okay,
Rothschild
We in this
one.
thing.
Hey,
We
T.
in this
Hey,
thing.
T-Bot.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Oh, I guess we can say
Hey, girl.
followers in that
Hey, girl.
highlight too. Yeah. Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome. This is our second episode where we start at 5. Live at 5.
Live at 5.
Yes.
Podcast.
Alrighty, so let's get to it. Check in with each other. How y'all doing? How y'all been? How y'all week been?
So this was my first week at work. I have a new shift.
Yeah, new
From
job. A
4
whole new
yes,
job.
yes. From 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. And this week has been exhausting. But once I get into like my schedule and my routine, it's gonna be beautiful. I love that time. I love that time.
Yeah.
You got the best
Got
schedule.
that coin? Yes, the best
Getting
schedule.
up at 4. It shouldn't be no traffic, none of that. Right?
It's none of that. Like literally, I get up at 3. So I get up at 3, and I have that. I mean, in all honesty, the most I sleep is probably 5 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry to hear that.
It is what it is, Being
Yeah,
a mother,
too.
I
Yeah,
get it.
same,
I
right.
get it.
5,
Hey, it
6
is what
hours,
it is. But in the midst of me getting up at 3 o'clock, going to work, getting off at 1, I have so much free time. I was able to get my nails done, toes done. I was able to do some things that I normally can't do because when I used to get off of work at 3:30, I used to have to get my kid and, But yeah, this week, I almost smacked somebody. But
Your stress was stressing.
my stress was stressing, but I was able to control and hold those emotions in
Won't he do it?
for professional reasons only.
Okay.
Oh, this is at work.
Just at the job.
Yeah.
Already.
Already.
Just at the job.
Listen,
Already.
what I realized though is a lot of people are used to working with certain people. So where I work at now, it is a lot of younger kids. A lot of younger adults, what I would say.
Oh.
So they're used to little girl in them. Like, watch what you doing, this, and that. It's like, okay, you could tell me something, but talk to me in a different tone.
It's not
I'm an
what you
adult.
say,
I'm a
it's how
grown
you
ass
say
woman.
it.
It's not what you
Yeah.
say, it's how you say it. You
Yeah.
could say school over in so many different ways. I could say, hey, can you scoot over? I want to get right here.
Yeah.
And then I could say, move over. You gonna be like, hold
Or
on.
scoot the fuck
You
over.
say excuse me.
Excuse me.
The polite way.
But even saying excuse me, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. Because I could say excuse me.
You
And
say,
then I could be like, excuse me. And you gonna be like, hold up. Who was you talking to? But
Hey, mommy.
That's how you say it.
besides that, I had a wonderful week.
Okay.
My babies, I took them to the movies. They was talking about people, but hey, them my kids. For y'all who know, y'all know my kids. So
Them
that's
baby
nothing.
kids.
They're little
They my
youths,
baby
little
kids.
youths.
They my baby kids.
You said she be talking about people?
Let me tell you something.
Talk about
How was your
Facebook.
week,
Let me tell you
Shay?
something, viewers, YouTube. I
Viewers.
talk about people,
She
okay?
talk about people.
And I talk about them in their face.
Ooh.
No
What
problem.
is that talk about them then? Like just let them
No,
know.
yeah.
Just let them know.
It
Communicate.
is what it is.
Well, my week was cool. It was cool. y'all know when I be getting to the end of the week, I think I'll be like, my memory bank be just wiped clean from the week.
I don't even remember.
You always do that.
I
Every single time.
do. It sure
Some
do.
wild weeks. Sound like, huh?
You know,
that's
I
some
think
fun.
you know what I think is part of it, like with my week.
Hey, Tracy. Okay, I'm sorry.
Because of what I do. You know, a lot of like I don't hold like
You have to decompress.
yeah, I don't
disconnect
hold
from
like
that
a lot
shit,
of
yeah.
space for it. You know, I remember it when I see my clients again. Like, oh, okay, we talked about this. I remember everything, but like
And then the
after
line
it's
of work that
done,
you do is not for you to discuss outside.
right?
of the
Yeah,
line.
Yeah.
yeah,
So you gotta
yeah.
forget it.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily forget. It's just
It's
like,
like you put it
just
in a
put
box.
space.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you put it
yeah.
in a
It's in
box
another
just for
space.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the week has been, it was cool. I went to a birthday party yesterday. Shout out to.
Oh, and that black dress, baby, it looked good on
It
you.
did look good.
Ooh, baby.
I mean, and I had to take. The reason I had to take a picture because I couldn't wear the dress the way that I wanted to wear the dress in the birthday
space
party I went
that
to.
you was
The
in.
space that I was in, because the birthday party I went to was a
Basically, you just
pastor's.
didn't want to wear a
Sienna.
dress.
No. It was a pastor's birthday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Baby, you gotta
So I had my
Your shoulders
my
good.
shawl,
And
yeah, my
your shawl.
jacket, my back, yeah, I had that on. I had that on because I was like, I could take, because that was the most. I wanted to be a little bit more than that, but I.
You had a pastor's birthday is already some wild work in itself.
Why?
We said we grew up in the church.
I was
Let me tell you something, Mark.
Every
When I say
day.
we chameleons, we can adapt to
Yes.
every environment.
Every
baby.
single
We grew
day.
up in church.
Yeah, my granddaddy was the pastor of the church, right? And then the pastor's birthday that I went to, that's like that's my uncle. So yeah, church girl every single day.
Okay, that explains
Sun-
a lot of
every
stuff.
Three
day.
times on
Every
Sunday, and I
day,
used to preach in the
yeah.
church too. I would get up and do
used to
lessons.
preach?
Yeah, I would do.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Well, I
would
wasn't
do-
preaching.
Yeah, I would be up there, like not like on like if they had programs and things like that.
I was in the kid
I used
choir.
to lead the Sunday school. I would teach in Sunday school.
I was in a choir.
I was in a choir too.
Praise dance.
Yeah,
I tried to step.
I was
but
president of the gospel choir
said I
in my
ain't had no,
college.
Okay, Shayna.
Classic church
And
freak.
you-
okay.
Yeah, I'm
Church
just like,
freak.
Wait, y'all, I was
Yeah.
an usher.
Now it all makes sense.
I was
was-
an
okay,
usher.
I was the usher
Yes.
before
And I
that.
did love that. I love that.
Yeah, I was-
Directing people. Sit down here.
It was a comedian yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a comedian yesterday at the pastor's birthday party, and she was really good. And she was like she was more of like not like a Christian comedian, but it was like catered toward like church. And she was talking about ushers yesterday, and she's like ushers can tell you what to do without even saying anything to you. Right?
just look at
Like you know what they
moving,
saying,
yeah.
right? They know what they
Come on.
saying.
Keep it moving,
yeah.
baby. Keep it
I
moving.
had that like go
Hey,
spit it out.
Brianna.
Like, yeah.
Oh, T-Boz, you too? Yeah, see, a lot of people grew up in the church, and you
Right.
wouldn't, yeah, most definitely.
Okay, so
Yeah, how was
Let
your
me
week,
see. Let
ma'am?
me-
Miss
I'm
Felicia.
trying to, y'all know my job. Ooh, I get tried every day, but every day I just try.
Oh,
you know?
Period. As you should.
You know, so it's just like shit. Work is work. Nothing really extraordinary. I took Friday off, had a time to sit in the house. I shaked ass this weekend and bought room and didn't have no kids, so it was really an amazing week. It's still not over.
It's still not over.
Today is still gonna be an amazing day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anytime I don't have a kid and get to shake some ass, yeah.
It's nothing wrong with that.
Like all the stress of the week, like y'all ain't gonna.
Shake it off. Shake it
Yeah, I
off.
know.
Shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. Shake
It's a
it
good
off.
ass week. It was a good ass day. So I ain't like the
Ice
snow.
Cube.
I ain't like the snow, but other than
Oh
that,
yeah, I forgot
of
about
course.
the snow.
No,
I was
don't
like, who
forget.
the hell
Don't forget.
ordered
It's
this?
outside still.
Oh my god, I did. I forgot about that snow they have it on
Motherfucker
Friday.
ain't
Who
leave
the
yet.
hell ordered that? Like, ain't nobody asked for that.
I don't know. I had my hot cocoa. I told you I was about to put my Christmas
I told
tree
you I was
back
out.
up.
I was out Christmas shopping on
Yeah,
Friday.
ain't nothing wrong
That's
with
the
it.
only
Ain't
reason
nothing
I
wrong with
called
it.
off Friday was because of the snow. So thank God for that. You could have kept it because I did rest and I was just lounging around. And
It's nothing wrong.
Like I made myself get up. Like I ain't got no kid. I'm getting outside. Even though I went to the same spot. I need to find new spots. Somebody like
Y'all,
let us
give us
know
some
where
spots
to go.
where we can
Real
go.
Shit.
Well, I done told y'all several spots to go, but
Well, I'll be.
Hey, I'm down.
we going somewhere today.
Yeah,
We
we
are.
are going somewhere today. So,
So
let
we
us
gonna
know
pop.
the
We gonna
spots
say
to go
something,
today.
and y'all better pop out with us.
Look, but other than that, like it was a good week. How about yours, Mark? I need that
Hey,
blunt
what's
too.
up?
Oh shit! Another week in Gotham. Nothing too exciting. Nothing too exciting. Just gearing up for a couple of events that I got for the station in the next couple of months, and yeah, just projecting for the future. Kind of took a rest. Not so much of a rest on the whole search in the Zaya Harris case, but I've been just kind of probing, watching some situations unfold without me doing a podcast. And just like I thought, nothing new came out, right? I mean, because of the new police report that came out was shit that we knew about a month ago on the podcast, right?
That's what's out, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just kind of waiting to see if they figure out anything or if I have to do another podcast for them to find any more information. That's all.
Okay, look at you.
If I got to do another, if I got to, it sound like if I got to do the work for them and they give out with some more information.
Superman.
Like, let's see, right? Since y'all want to, chill me out on the investigation since I'm hurting the investigation. But I'm really helping it. I'm really hurting.
Yeah, and you are.
I'm really hurting your reputation because I'm making
Because y'all not doing shit.
Jinx.
Buy me a soda.
Hurting their notoriety.
Y'all not doing shit. It's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Put
We
me in
gotta
the game.
keep our kids.
Put me in the game, Coach.
I watched that Nickelodeon documentary.
Put me in the game. Put me in the game.
I didn't watch it because I just didn't have the energy.
Thank you, Coach.
I didn't even. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even have the energy.
I felt that way too. Yeah, it is a lot.
I've heard it. I've heard so many people talk about it, Nickelodeon and all Disney, all that type of shit, and I was just like, I don't even have the energy to watch it.
It is a lot. Yeah,
because I know it's fucked up.
And it's crazy, like, cause I'm conflicted. Right? I ain't gonna say I'm conflicted, but I'm in a weird spot with one of my homeboys, right? Because it's like, he's always supported the platform, the station, and all of that, right? And he actually just got to the point where he's the Green Power Ranger, the actual Green Ranger on the Power Rangers, right?
Power Rangers still out?
Yeah. And
reruns,
he's
right?
He's working on a Nickelodeon.
It's new.
It's new.
It's a Power Rangers, yeah.
Oh, what?
He's working on he's a rapper, a producer, right? And he's working on a Nickelodeon themed album that he got like a whole Kickstarter for. He's like, man, you want to support the, my Nickelodeon thing? And I'm like, and I just seen the Nickelodeon documentary. I'm like, wait a minute, brother.
Yeah, and that's where
I didn't even watch it. So I don't know anything about Nickelodeon because we didn't grow up with cable. So like I'm a PBS kid. So I don't know about Nickelodeon.
Kids.
But as I was looking at the some of the episodes that they had on it, I was like, this was y'all was watching? Y'all didn't nobody say
I was watching.
Y'all see that like Cocomelon was people like trying to ban that because they had an episode where it was like two gay fathers trying to tear their like son. It's okay to dress up, like put them in a dress, and it was like it's nothing wrong with happened. But
no,
like,
I haven't seen
on a
Cocomelon.
Cocomelon show. Like the kids is watching. My son was watching Cocomelon.
That
was that new age shit.
If your child
You know what I'm saying?
was watching a program where it was that scenario where two men were encouraging the boy to dress like a girl.
So that's what they were doing. They were encouraging him to dress like a girl. They say,
they was just like,
hey, put on
like
this dress.
Dress up, put on this dress, and they were like two gay fathers. Like it's okay. Like
I don't. You know what? To be honest, I don't think I will allow my children to watch that. Not only because, not saying it's nothing wrong. Listen, I love my community because we are one. But I, like I always said, as far as being a mother, I always want to protect my children as much as I can because they're going to be exposed to that either way it goes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I definitely would have turned that off.
Yeah, so if it was, because I don't know anything about it. And so if it was specifically that, that was the setup to say, hey, put on this dress, that sounds weird in the first place. Like, I feel like, I don't think that I've ever seen anything that's like so extreme like that say, hey, put on this dress. Yeah. Now I know that there are people who, because they are so against it, they make it extreme and they make it seem like, oh, that's what they were doing. Hey, put on this dress. versus if they were presenting it in a way of like, because I personally believe their clothing doesn't have gender. We just made that up. Mm-hmm. We made that up. Like women wear dresses and men wear pants. But girls to have on pants, and we don't say, oh, you're a man. Like, so I don't think clothing has gender, because in different cultures too, there are kilts, there are sarongs, there are things that they wear that look like, dresses. But in our culture, in our society,
like pastors wear robes.
We put gender on clothing. Like we put gender on colors. Like, you can't wear pink. Because that's a girl's color.
My son.
No, it's a man that look good in pink. I ain't gonna lie.
You should.
I love a man in
different
pink.
colors. Like, yeah,
baby,
different colors. Yeah, express yourself and explore yourself. So I'm
but to say that is to say that all like our culture is blended, and we should be able to do what other culture like this.
No, I'm not
that's the
saying that.
culture
I'm not
they
saying
raised
that.
in.
I'm not saying that other
So-
cultures
so-
should blend. I'm
okay,
saying,
so we
I'm
can't
saying
use
we.
that as an
No,
excuse.
I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's made up. Period. No matter what the culture is, it's made up. We decided to say, hey, this is for women and this is for men. We made that up. That's just that's my stance on it. Like, we made it up. That's it. Because we made up everything. And so if that cartoon was just that one-sided, right? If it was one-sided and say the kid didn't come to the daddies and ask him if he wanted to wear a dress, they just like, here, put on a dress. Then that's a little different than a child having, a choice and not being shamed because they want to wear pink. Or they want to wear certain clothing or things like that.
That's
Yeah.
just like my daughter. My
Yeah.
daughter colors wasn't pink and purple. Her colors was blue and orange for her birthday. She wanted blue and orange.
But you know what?
There's nothing wrong
But
with
if
that.
my-
But that
my
thing,
7-year-old son
that thing
came to
only
me-
affects because girls can be able to do that, right? Like, that only affects boys. Boys don't have the freedom to be able to say, hey, I want to wear this pink thing without it being
my
looked
son
at
had a
something.
pink watch
From
from that was in his gift bag from the birthday party of your daughters, and I wouldn't let him wear it because it was pink. And then I was like, yeah, no.
Okay, well, I got some more watches.
Pink,
I'm going to get him another one.
Because I'm like, pink is for girls. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't believe
so I
that.
can see
I
what
think
you
that-
were saying,
yeah.
but I still wasn't going to allow him to wear that pink watch.
But see,
Right?
That's
in
fine.
this
I
day and
wasn't.
age, that
No.
pink watch probably was still female themed, right? Just like I was about
No,
to
it
say.
wasn't.
No, it
the
wasn't.
same watch
It
as
was
all
the
the
same
other
watch
watches.
as all
It was
of
just
them.
pink.
It was just
No.
a glow up
But
watch.
Yeah.
You know what? The only time that I would allow him to wear that, like, because here's the thing, I would let my son wear a pink polo.
Yeah,
Right?
I would
With the
close
right
it.
clothes,
Yeah,
right?
but
You
he
know what I'm saying?
wasn't.
But I'm not
No.
about to let him wear a Hello Kitty themed tank top.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, if you're not
Girl.
interested in a Hello Kitty tank top, then yeah,
Yeah,
you won't let him
no.
wear it
Even
if you're
if he
not
asked
interested,
me, he
interested
would
in
not.
that.
Even if he asked me, he would not be wearing.
So what
it.
would you tell him? He got to
I
wait
would
till he
tell
get
him
older?
Wait till he get older.
I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
but-
if that's
Those are-
something he
that's
wants to
That's a
do.
girl's clothing. I'm not.
Okay.
It's my responsibility to teach my
Some
son
stuff,
what's right
yeah.
and what's wrong.
Okay.
Right and wrong is subjective.
Hey,
Right, that-
so,
in your household,
What's our
I guess.
word
In the
today?
world, right or wrong is subjective. The reality of
It's
it,
not, yeah. it's
yeah,
in the
the
world.
reality
It's in the
is
world.
right
I
or wrong is
definitely-
subjective.
You
That's
know,
reality. And I'm
boy
not saying
wearing
that's
little girls'
yeah.
clothes
I'm not
is
saying
wrong.
that
Yeah.
you I'm not saying that you do it for your son.
But
with
that's
your son.
also your belief.
Yeah, that's your belief.
So that's
your
something
beliefs,
you
yeah.
are entitled to. You
Yeah.
are entitled to raise your child how you
way you
raise
want.
your child.
I'm just
And
saying.
that's the part that
we-
the world
Wow.
I feel like
Right.
doesn't realize. Like, people can
That's what
raise
we're
their
talking
kids,
about.
do what they want in their household the way they want to. Like,
Yeah,
people
most
placing
definitely.
judgment on somebody else because they don't live their life the way
And
they
that's what
definitely.
says no judgment.
Most
And
I
that's
definitely.
something-
I wasn't talking about y'all versus
No, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
saying in general, like
Yeah, most
because
definitely.
of who my sis podcast is.
Yeah.
It's
I'm-
a judge free.
I'm just a person.
It's
It's just like just be mindful of that, like of those things, because sometimes, and y'all, I be coming from a really like a therapy space sometimes with these things too, and what I see in my therapy sessions from people who come back later and say, well, this is what happened and this is what happened and this is how it affected me. And so that's why I speak sometimes from the way that I speak, is because I'm seeing this later. I worked in foster care before, and this woman cussed her kid out because he had on a pink hat. She cussed him out and said, I'm going to tell your daddy on you. And this little boy, he's so scared. And then meanwhile, while she's cussing him out for having a pink hat on, she got on a red and blue hat. So that's all I'm saying is with those things, just being mindful of things like that. Not saying that's what you're doing in your space, but yeah. Yeah.
From the perspective
We are. We're going to get to.
we're
going to get to. Yeah. No.
Last point, like, because you're speaking from the perspective of, like, from your career standpoint, right? You see the opposite, the other
end
side
of it, yeah.
of some of these
She see
situations.
the end of the reason why.
Yeah.
And when everything that happened.
of the type of
Yes.
situation.
Of how people
Yeah.
was raised
Yeah,
or how they
right,
was
right,
taught,
right.
and
Yeah.
a lot of that shit be fucked up.
It be messed up. It does. It does.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
to say that, but it do.
It does.
And
It does.
but because of us being parents, we parent differently. So we parent how we want to.
Yeah.
We're not parenting how to teach our children how to be adults, as far as like having their own identity, having their own thoughts about things. It's no, you're gonna think how I think.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel about this how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You're my child.
Yeah.
You're underage. So I'm gonna control your thoughts in that way.
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't like candy. We don't like chips
We
over
don't like
here.
this in this house.
We don't like it over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So when you
What's-
get older,
Well, speaking of, raising children, when we think about like, raising children, we do come in the thought of like women with that too. Men raise children as well, but just giving toward our topic for today. Yeah. So our topic for today is worth of a woman.
Worth of a woman. Happy Women's Month.
It's Women's History
Month. All my ladies out there.
It's Women's History
All
Month.
my ladies. Happy History Month.
Women's History Month. Wow. Yeah, that's what I think. When I think about women, I think wow.
Wow.
I think wow. Yeah. So before we got into, I did want to share this poem that I wrote. And the poem was triggered or inspired at a night out at 90s. we love us some 90s.
Shout out to Mama 90s.
Again, every Sunday. But it was a night out at 90s, and I was just looking around, and had all of like these like women that was in there, and just different shapes and sizes and skin complexions and beauty it was just different, just like representations of like a woman. And as I was seeing like the women walk around, and I'm gonna say this, but this is not what this podcast is about. We're not talking about women to be against men. We're talking about women just to hold space, definitely for that. But the trigger for this poem was me seeing these women in these spaces, and like the men, like they don't dance, they just like sit around, like there was just like
men
really
just
like
sit back and watch us all day, get that little wee wee heart, and then go home. They just sit back and watch us all day. No, it's true. A man to go in a bar and sit there, watch all these girls twerk their ass, twirl around, get that little wee heart, go home, either have sex with a girlfriend or try their hardest to pull one of the bitches from the club.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that's reality. My bad.
What else is there to do with shit? Like,
hey, all right, come on now, Shay.
Yeah, so this is what the poem was triggered by. So, she did not come from your rib, you came from her womb from which all things proceed and to which all things return. She walks among her creation, nurturing, caring, sacrificing her body to provide comfort. Her children submit prayers of supplication. Her lovers imbibe in her flowing waters. She is God among men.
Period.
So yes, I just wanted to.
Hey, I like that. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, I like it. I like it. I feel like it's dope, and I feel like it hits a lot of points and pinpoints on a woman in general.
Okay.
Like I know when we previously talked, as far as like women, we are judged for every single thing we do. You be a good mother, you judge. Bad mother, you judge. Yeah. You want to go twerk and dance, you judge. Mm-hmm. You a hoe, you all type of shit. We're judged for everything. When we too nice, we're judged. When we supposedly have an attitude, or when we focus, we're judged. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Anything. When we're upset, we're judged.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. What was that movie? The Diary of a Mad Black Woman? Judged. She
had a reason to. We understood where that came
from. She was even judged though, but she was judged with her like, how she was responding.
I definitely judged her because I feel like, and I don't care. I mean, it's me. This is all I'm saying. It's me. Yeah. People choose to deal with what you deal with. Mm. I'm sorry. If you fucking me over, baby, I'm not gonna sit back, smile in your face.
Well, she didn't realize he was fucking her over until it was too late.
I'm saying,
she was already getting thrown out the house.
All I'm saying is, even when she was getting thrown out the house, she let it be known, you messed me up to where I can't have no kids because you gave me STDs and shit. She knew all of that. I don't care what nobody said. Yeah. She said it. Yeah, damn. But if you can't be mad if you keep allowing. If somebody do something to you once, okay. If somebody do something to you twice, okay, I give you that.
So what?
If somebody
doing
it to you, then what you want me to do? I'm not crying a river for you if you keep allowing it to happen.
Yeah. So we're talking about like the worth of a woman. We're talking about in this space of like us showing up as women. And I'm going to like what you're, because I'm piggybacking on like what you're saying, because judgment is there, like even from other women, right? Like we judge each other, and so like in those spaces like where we find ourselves, like in those spaces of like judging other like women for like choices or the decisions they made, in their lives. Because I'm imagining in that space, like there were some other things that was going on too for her to like even be in that position to say, okay, I'm gonna stay or I'm gonna do this. Because I've been in positions before where I've decided or chosen to
Like,
stay
where
as
you
a
what you wasn't getting the whole truth.
Yeah.
Love will make you do some fucking crazy shit. Like it'll make you stay. Because I'm like come from like where I dealt with similar shit she was dealing with. It was a fucking movie, but everybody relationship or it's different. How the woman show up and showing up as a black woman and just overcome. How she came up in the end, how she got up and didn't go back. Like she did what she needed to do when it was time to put her to
when it was time for her to put that man in the tub, she did what she needed to do. When it was time for him to eat.
At the end of the day, like the end goal was her healing, her process. You know what I'm saying? When she was over it, she won. She got a new husband. You know what I'm saying? She won. Sometimes you deal with shit. You there because of love. You there. You're not strong enough to leave at that moment.
And I get that.
Up, she's gone.
I respect that. The thing is me judging is not losing respect.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I respect that. Like I respect those people that deal with those situations. That's why I make sure I specify it's me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can't do it. Yeah. My demeanor is it goes to a whole different level.
So Leisha, you mentioned as far as like how you showing up. So what does it mean for you guys to like show up as a woman or like show up as a black woman? What does that mean?
I think just showing up as a woman, period, is strength. No matter what side of the pole you on, no matter what you're classified or labeled as, it's strength. It's overcoming. It's power. Like a black woman is very powerful. A black woman is very smart. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, whatever your hustle is, you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, you're doing it well. You know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? We've been providers. We're nurturers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's single parents.
That's fact.
You know what I'm saying? This mother's out here with no jobs and still doing what the fuck they gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Because they're strong. You know what I'm saying?
And they
so
do it.
That's showing up as a woman, regardless of what it is and how you showing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it's dealing with, like, a lot of people deal with a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of strong people out here. Like, you mentioned that movie, she dealt with that shit.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
She was strong in that shit for even dealing with that shit. Because there's a lot of people out here who couldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people out here who wouldn't have even made it out. And she made it out. That's the end goal at the end of the day. Is having a plan and making it out. You know what I'm saying?
And you know one thing about women, the strength of a woman that I love and I admire is because, like when we were talking, and I said my definition of standing up as a black woman was being able to control your emotions in the different environments. Being able to be vulnerable when you have to be. And a lot of that comes when you have your children. You know what I'm saying? I can't even say romantically because women still be like, yeah, I'm big dog.
Yeah.
But being able to control your emotions in that in any and every area of your life. When it comes to work, you get called bitches how many times? And then you get that one thank you, and guess what? You still doing what you're supposed to do. Because that's your job. You can't react on your emotion because, let's be real, off your real emotion. You've been a pop the girl upside her head, because I know I would. When I had that shit in my job, I was really ready to slap somebody. And I'm like, you know what? Let me control my emotions, because guess what? I'm working because I have to provide. And I have to provide for my kids.
Yeah.
So showing up as a black woman, for me, is being able to control those moments where a lot of people lose. And it's a lot of chaos around you. Being able to control yourself.
If you're controlling something,
in that
that's
moment.
Strength, right?
Oh yeah,
that's another side.
That's
doesn't sound like another
strength,
side of
right?
side
That's
of
power.
strength.
That's being
yeah. I mean, even when being a woman and controlling it, and that's like when we were talking the other day, being able to control your emotions, you're able to let go of that control for that moment when you want to be vulnerable, when you want to open up and express yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my definition.
Okay. Well, that sounds like definitely like strength in both spaces. I think being able to, and this is not to go against what you're saying. I personally believe we don't have control over anything, but we do have like, choices that we make. And so in those spaces, the choices that we make to allow or let go of something, to release, like, so, in that moment to say, hey, I can respond this way or I can respond this way. I can do this or I can do that. But being able to like honor our emotions is important too, and hold like space for how we're feeling. But when I think about like showing up as a woman, and then speaking of just from a space of like as a black woman, I think about creator. This is when I think about showing up as a woman, because women in my life have been able to create nothing, like something out of nothing, like whole meals. Like, where did this come from? Like, you just made a whole like full meal. Like, they make a way to make something happen. It goes along with the strength of things. So everything, when I think about women, just like create something is coming for. It's like you're going to multiply whatever it is that's set before you, whether it is whatever it is, whether she's labeled as a good woman or like what they label as a bad woman, or she gonna multiply something gonna be coming from. It's gonna make something happen in this space. So I think about creator when I think about women, and showing up as a woman. I'm wondering, in those spaces where you guys think about like strength and like control, and when you think about women, does that backfire sometimes with that thought of like,
because we're not meant to be controlled, right? Like we can follow, but you know what I'm saying, it's not like, don't make it feel like it's controlled. That's when you have rebellion. That's when you become rebellious.
You talking about somebody else controlling?
Yeah, like don't make it like that control word just in general. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Once a woman is feeling anything like that, it's the job becoming controlling the kids. Like,
oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
So,
but when
like
I
restrictive,
say,
like
but when I say controlling, I'm not speaking
restricted.
of controlling our environment.
Yeah.
I'm speaking of controlling how we deal with our environment. So regardless of what it is. A man can be controlled. It's about you controlling yourself. That's what I mean when I say stand-up woman to me is a woman that know how to control her emotions. It's because I could be placed in a hood. I could be placed in a suburbs. I could be placed at a party with a pastor. I could be placed at a party with a stripper. And I know how to control.
You know how to represent yourself and hold yourself.
Yes. And I feel like that's what women know how to do. They know how to be chameleons in the months of who they're around. Yeah. They know how to. It comes naturally and fitting for women. This is just my opinion.
Good women.
It comes, I say for women in general. Man. It comes to where they know how to adapt to their environment. So if you feel like a bad woman is a hoe because she tricking and stuff at a strip club, she know how to adapt to the environment at the strip club. That's where the money. That's what we do.
What's a good woman? What's a bad woman?
I guess it's subjective, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's all in the personality and the character of the person, the standards, the morals of the woman.
So good person, bad person.
Good person,
good cop, bad cop.
Good person, good mother, a woman who take care of her kids versus one who don't.
Yeah.
Right. So a woman who respects herself and people around her versus one who doesn't. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You talk about somebody earlier. Brooke said.
But they still showing up, right? Even though you showing up not being shit, you still consistent. What the fuck?
You showed up.
You great at not being shit.
Hey, it's a lot of mothers that are great at being deadbeat.
Like,
and it's not
I'm talking about you're consistent.
So that makes them put them in the category of a good woman.
No, we're not saying good.
So now bringing it back to what I was saying.
So now you're helping to expound on what a bad person is. Yeah. So we know what bad people is versus what good people is. So that's that part. But I wanted to ask y'all another question I've been holding since the beginning of the conversation. Right? When you're talking about
let me see that lighter, Mike.
Judging people, right? We're talking about we shouldn't judge people, and we shouldn't, right? So what is it? It's a thin line. I feel like we walk between judging people and holding them accountable. So how do we hold people accountable when wrong is subjective, right out here? When you know what I mean? So how do we hold people accountable for what we feel like?
What I believe is the thing is regardless of holding people accountable, you can't expect for them to hold themselves accountable. So somebody can do something, it could be wrong to us, but to that person, it's good. For example, we were talking about leaving kids at home by themselves at a certain age, 10, right? I could feel like, nah, my 10-year-old, I'm sorry, I wouldn't leave her at home by herself, especially take care of no siblings, nothing. I wouldn't do that because that's me. But for other people that will do it, to them, that might be okay. They might feel like their child, you know what I'm saying? That's their way. So to them, they might not feel like it's bad, but to me, so I can hold somebody accountable for that, like you bad because you left your kids at home and this and that. but to them it's not. And I can't expect them to because they don't feel like it's not nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
They don't feel like it's nothing wrong with what they do.
I believe when you hold somebody accountable, you're not allowing that or them to react or do that in your space when they're with you, and you're saying something, and every time they come around and it is done around you or you see it, you standing on business and you're correcting. It's the only way, like, to hold somebody accountable. It's like you can tell somebody something and it's like, all right, but if I know, all right, I told you stop smoking and I'm still smoking around you, you still smoking around me and all that. I told you once, I'm not holding you accountable, or am I holding myself accountable? Right? If I feel something about a certain thing,
are you judging that person for smoking?
no, I'm not, because to each his own. But if I feel a certain way about a certain thing somebody is doing, where I feel like I need to hold them accountable, is making sure they're not able to do that in my presence. And I'm holding myself,
So
my
what's the
thoughts.
difference?
My
Let me answer because what you're saying to go with accountable versus judgment and like things being subjective. Things like, yes, things are truths and things are subjective, but we also have experiences with each other that we have in agreements, right? Like we have social agreements that we agreed upon in this relationship, right? So in this space, as you're saying, like in this space right here, it's agreed upon, like, hey, you don't smoke in my car.
And
right?
even when
Like,
it's like, for example, like I just wanted to piggyback on what you said when it says, like, as far as the smoking thing. It's holding somebody accountable. We can smoke together. You can say you don't like it. But if it's something like you pregnant, right? A female pregnant, it's like, okay, you smoke. You could smoke, but you pregnant, and I know you're pregnant.
Yes, and I don't want to doing that around me. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's when you for sure can be like, nah.
That's how you hold somebody, like,
Yeah.
you just
I get
not
what you're
doing
saying.
whatever it is that you're doing in my presence.
Yeah.
I get
and
what
I'm
you're
not
saying.
going
Because
to
it's an
allow
agree.
it.
Yeah, most definitely.
Listen, if I
So
told
what's
you
the
it's an
difference?
issue, it's an issue.
So what's the
and if
difference
we're cool, then you respect that it's an issue, right?
Or you could go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Go elsewhere.
And I think that, we say we don't, I think it's important for us not to like base opinions or thoughts about somebody based solely on like these preconceived judgments of them. But it's natural for us to make judgments, right? Like, that's how we make decisions with things and make
between this
judgments.
scenario, right? Before I forget it, we get too deep off into it. Like, what's the difference between that scenario and me not wanting my son, even at age 21, wearing a fucking Hello Kitty tank top?
Because that's your definition of what's right and what's wrong. Everybody, the doctor tell you, when you pregnant with a child, don't smoke. But when it comes to you and your son wearing a pink tank top or whatever, that's your definition. Ain't no doctor gonna tell no little boy, hey, you can't wear no pink tank top. No,
they're not.
But they're gonna tell a woman you cannot smoke while you have a seed in your belly.
Okay, so even if it was your preference that you didn't like to be around smokers, would they like disregard her being pregnant? If you were just somebody that didn't like to be around smokers,
Well,
it's still your option to be around them.
With the
option.
son in the pink shirt, I feel like he's in your household, is your rules, whatever, regardless of how we feel.
What's that based
You're
on?
gonna do. You're gonna do whatever. I'm saying, but you're gonna do whatever you feel like for in his household.
Because
when it comes to the age where he can make his own decision,
and
he gonna wear his pink.
And
then you're just not gonna understand it, and you're not gonna understand it because you didn't choose to understand it. If he asks you to wear pink early, you know what I'm saying? It's probably something you need to invest in a little deeper. You know what I'm saying?
My son ain't asked to wear no pink.
No, I'm not saying.
I'm
just saying, and like, there's something to dive in a little deeper. But in your household, this is your kid. You're raising him. We're not raising your kid, so I'm not gonna be like, yeah, it's wrong. You said,
but even in that moment,
but when your son, if we want to wear pink, if you choose to, you said no. Just know when he at a certain age where it's his choice to wear the pink, he's gonna wear the pink, and you might have a rebellious stage after that.
Not even that.
For not trying to understand.
As we were talking about earlier, when it comes to therapy and stuff like that, it's going to be a point to where that son might feel like he couldn't be him. I had to put on this front because to please you, literally. So I feel like that's what it can come to.
I want to segue. I want to segue with that. That's the idea of strength and like control, and this expectation sometimes to show up and always as strong and controlled. And so I can see like where like that can backfire on us sometimes, where we feel like, you know, we do got to come in, like, you got to control your emotions while you're in here. You don't better not say anything while you're at this job. You better, you know, you better interact this way, because they're going to label you this. They're going to say you the angry black woman. They're going to say you a hoe. They're going to say all these things. So we put, you know, these faces on a lot of time as women to show up in the
be yourself.
Yeah. And that's also your surroundings, right? Being a woman, I feel like comes with naturally pleasing those around you. When it comes to your children, you could be sick, pissed, anything. But when it comes to being a mama, guess what? You're going to shake that shit off and you're going to be a mama. Right?
It's not control then.
Oh, it is control.
No,
it's controlling
like,
how
I have to. You know what I'm saying? It's
no. If it was a I have to, it wouldn't be no such thing as deadbeats. If it was a I have to, it wouldn't be.
I have to, because we
no,
have
it's
to.
not.
Yes, it is.
How?
We're
so
not
how
controlled
is
to wake up every
available?
morning at 7 a.m.
How's deadbeats
to
possible?
get the kids.
What I mean?
Because they're possible, because they're deadbeats. We're not controlled
so they're
every
not
morning
doing
to
what
get up
you
and
have
get.
to
We're
do.
doing it because we have to. We doing it because we. If
well, I do it
not
because
do
I want
nobody
to.
got to do it. They're gonna do it. If we don't get these kids up and get them to school, they're not gonna get themselves up to go to school with their kids. So a lot of things black women doing is because we have to. We're cooking and cleaning because they told us we supposed to cook and clean for our husband. They told us a man is supposed to be the head of the household.
The point that Brooke making it, there's a lot of black women that are not getting up taking their kids.
That's why I said I don't believe it's a have to.
Subject. Okay.
No, it's not a soft subject because we're speaking about the power and the strength of a black woman.
Okay.
And a black woman.
Not control. Nothing to control a black woman. I just disagree with you with that control.
And I'm completely okay with the disagreement. That's your opinion.
With the black woman.
That's your opinion.
But you keep like.
That's your opinion. That's your.
But I'm not hearing Brooke saying control a woman.
I'm control as in the power somebody can control you.
Yeah,
I'm saying as far as the woman.
Emotions and stuff.
Yeah,
like, emotions
you control yourself. I don't care if somebody jump off a bridge. Tell me you gonna jump off a bridge too, or you gonna control your thoughts and say no, I ain't jumping off that bridge because of somebody else.
Plan to know that you're not jumping off a bridge.
So it sounds like different like definitions of it, but like even showing up in the space, like whether we have to or whether we give ourselves that like power to like, you know, show up in these spaces with our kids or whatever. Again, we're talking about like putting on this front and this face, right? You know, even in spaces like, you know, coming from like saying like, what if in those times you don't want to like do like you in your lowest of your low or whatever it is, you don't even have sometimes as a woman the freedom to be able to do that, whether that is like society imposed or self-imposed that we do that. And so when you were talking about that, like even in like the idea of like showing up as a woman, you know, who is a mother, right? The idea of like allowing or letting your children see you cry, allowing to let your children see you be vulnerable. Right? Or are we walking in spaces as women to like uphold this front to say, no, I can't show my vulnerability. I can't show my tears. I got to be strong for my kids.
But listen, it's the thing though. There's so many women out here, right? And nobody is the same. So my thoughts can be completely different from somebody else's. And that don't take away from them being a woman.
For sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't take away from them being a woman. They don't take nothing away.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that take. I'm just saying in general, like I've heard on many occasions, and not necessarily just from women, but we're talking about women today, but not just from women.
All women are beautiful.
But it is that thought of like, you know, we have to present in these ways, and if any other way we present, then that's the wrong way, or any other way we present, then we're not controlled.
Okay, so is it wrong if you choose not to get your kid up and get them ready for school? Is that wrong to you?
If you choose not to get them up,
if you say I don't feel like getting up, so they not going to school.
It's not wrong to have that feeling of not wanting to do it.
No, I'm talking about not doing it.
Yeah, it's not
talking about made up, Shauna. Like school is made up. Like the school is the white man's institution. Like we didn't go to school way back in the day, right?
I mean, I would disagree with you.
I'm playing on Shauna how she did earlier.
But that's stupid. That's a stupid like analogy in comparison.
I mean,
to
for
it.
real.
Yeah, like they don't.
Knowledge.
And then second of all, it's a long A, and my name is Shayna.
Oh.
How many times I got to tell her I like messing with her?
No, don't do it.
No, but I'm really, you do say it. Yeah, not right now.
No, but I'm just saying, like, as far as like us showing up in spaces, like, yeah, no, the feeling isn't wrong, right? So the feeling of not wanting, but we do got expectations as adults.
But when you
we do
don't
have
do it-
expectations as mothers, right? Like, you know, and there are times when
and
people,
expectations from other people.
and expectations from other people,
Right,
But there are times I can't 100% say that it's wrong if a mother doesn't. Right, because you know we got nuances to things, right? Like people we deal with as women too, you know, and then as black women as well, the way like things like depression shows up for us, right? Depression a lot of times for like black women specifically, it shows up in this irritation, very easily agitated, irritable, very highly overwhelmed, and like stress, and like everything that like just your kid can just be like, you know, whistling a tune, mama, and you like, yeah, you agitated with it. So there may be times where in those moments, like, yeah, that depression is holding you, or that thing, whatever that expectation is holding you, it's taking over from you being able to
been able to put on your faces.
Right.
Yeah, because you've been putting on your faces. Yeah, you've been putting on faces.
Okay.
And so if you in a moment, you woke up in the morning and was like, I ain't taking these kids to school.
I've definitely done that.
Like I've had like moments like that,
of me.
And not wanting to.
I don't feel like
I just told my son's father. I said I don't want to pick him up from school no more. Like I don't want to. I said I don't feel like, because my son he's a talker. Like, you know, he's really smart. And his thought process, I think, is like, if I can talk and I can play and I can do my work and I can get all A's and all the things I do, why can't I talk and play? So every time I would go pick him up, the teacher like, well, I had to talk to him today. Well, I had to do it. And I just got tired of hearing it. And I told his dad, I was like, let's switch. Like, you go pick him up, because I don't feel like hearing it. So yeah, I don't think it's wrong, you know, to be in the space where you like may not feel it. And that's just true to like being a woman, just like all the things that like, you know, you may be carrying. And a lot of times we are carrying the expectations of somebody else outside of us, right? Like
100%.
Or like what was told to us about like what a woman is supposed to be. Yeah. So I have a question about that. Like, what was that like education, which education has been around for centuries outside of a school or a house?
Taught. I was never taught how a woman was supposed to be. My mama was like, no, like some real shit, G shit. My mama was a pimp, okay? So in her book, it was like, hey, that's what women do. Women, you know what I'm saying, get what you can get and get on. But I wasn't taught how to be a woman until I actually became one. And that's when I was learning along my own personal path, because this is how I feel like a woman would show up. This is how I feel. This is just my definition. It's a million, quadrillion people out here. Hold on, Mark. It's a million, quadrillion people out here, right? And I am entitled to my own opinion. And everybody else is as well. So if I was taught, hey, women, you gonna use these men, you get your rent paid by one, get your bill, your phone bill paid, having a dude drop you off money. If I was taught that, right, and I grew up, and then I grew up, but in the midst of me growing up, I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that type of woman.
Yeah,
that's not who I am.
So it's definitely defining it, you know, for yourself, you know, with that. Because I don't know if I directly was like taught, well, not like, it wasn't like a conversation like my mama like, this is how you be a woman, right? Like, it wasn't anything like that. It was more of like just me this like witnessing and like, you know, looking at how she like operated in spaces. So like, you know, one of the things that like I learned, my mom worked 3 jobs. You know, and she worked 3 jobs, and then she also like cooked for us and bought our clothes and enrolled us in school and all. So like my idea of a woman was like multitask, be busy, and do all the things. Right? Like that was like what was kind of like communicated in that space. And I think that I don't know if I had like a point where it was like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm not gonna be. I think I may have like been in that space of like falling into like, okay, we multitask, we get things done. You know, if we do, you know, I'm not. I always chose. I've never worked 3 jobs at the same time. Which I have, but not 3. Not like 3 like labor jobs. I got jobs I was able to do at the same time or everything. But it was like multitasking, right, and taking care of things. You took care of things.
And that's one thing a black woman can do. Is multitask. You could be in your feelings, cooking and doing homework, all of that at once. You can do so many things. Being a beautiful black woman, and the power, the strength, the worth of that. And it is disheartening and it is saddening when people in general, not just men, but people in general don't admire that about a black woman. Like you had mentioned, we didn't go to school and stuff, but guess what? Them black women still taught their kids how to do what they needed to do.
Yeah.
Them black women still taught their kids, oh, okay, I know how to write a little bit, so I'm gonna teach you what I know. Them parents, the mothers, while the men was out, the mothers was at home with them kids, not just teaching their kids, but teaching those white kids as well. We were feeding those kids amongst our bodies, from our bodies.
That's why I was thinking about like creator and nurture, like coming from that space, like for women. Yeah, and not even just our own mothers. It's like how we were taught to like be women, or what that means to show up in women. I also think about like freedom.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I wish a lot more of us are be able to be in that space of freedom with it. I think that our society wants to control us a lot of times and wants us to like be a certain way or act a certain way, but allowing us to be like free to be like, however, again, like if we do want to show up and be in a space and say, no, I don't want to, like, I don't want to do that, that's that authority and that power, because femininity is power. There's a lot of power in there, and like creativity, being able to like,
we
again,
create
develop.
babies.
Yeah,
what the fuck is y'all? What we create babies?
But even outside of that, like even if
that's natural. That listen, a motherfucker could be a deadbeat, right? But guess what? Her womb still gonna create. that baby body still gonna heal and do whatever it got to do to create that baby, that other human within them.
Yeah. We do have that ability, but even showing up as a woman, even women who don't have that ability, whether it's disease or whatever is going on, they don't have those abilities to, be able to, but they're able to nurture,
but it's
right?
Natural.
They're able to,
even
like,
when it comes to adoption or anything, you know what I'm saying? Women they have so many things that men just don't have. Men are strong, granted, physically. For sure, but women are strong too, physically, for sure, as well. You know what I'm saying?
It's balance,
so
yeah.
It is, and being a woman in general is an amazing thing. We go through crazy shit every month, okay? Sometimes 5 days, 7 days, sometimes 3. You blessed if it's 3, but 5. We go through shit every month, okay?
I heard somebody post. There was they asked about like their what did their mothers or what did they learn growing up about like their periods and stuff like that. And I thought that was interesting. Like
I didn't
communicated.
Listen, everything about me was like self-taught. Like, you know what? When I had I was in high school, and one of my classmates was like, "Hey, put my jacket on and go to the nursing, the nursing station." So I'm like, "What the fuck?" Okay. You learn about certain things, and when it came to sex ed, I guess I didn't make it to that part yet. When I came on, so I was confused. I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to die. What's going on over here? But when a woman, which was a nurse in our school, had sat down and told me, like, hey, well, I don't know if nobody ever told you this, but this is what happens when you become a young lady. Yeah. Like this is like where the part at where it becomes you are actually a woman. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Biology. Yeah.
Physically, you're actually a woman.
Yeah.
And in that moment, it was like, okay, so now I have to take care of myself. Now, but I had to learn on my own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She gave me, and I remember her name. Her name was, I will never forget her name. Her name was Nurse Becky. Becky with the good hair. But her name was Nurse Becky, and I shout out to Nurse Becky because she definitely gave me a map, I say, on how to take care of myself.
I think that's fair to say too, like, not even because we talked about like, how we learn from our mothers or like women who are around us, but just like in general being able to be inspired, influenced by women. There's safety that's there too, with women. I'm the safest, or feel the safest when I am surrounded.
I would take advice from a woman more than I would take advice from a man.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on like that level of.
If it has to do with men, maybe, but I don't ask for advice from men, for real. Yeah. I don't ask for advice from men in general. But when it comes to certain things that a woman go through, like you said, menstrual, parenting as a mother, I can get that advice from other women.
Yeah.
Because those women literally face the same thing I face. They battle the same battles I face. They do all of that. So I can get your advice. Tell me how you feel about this. And I can say, you know what? All right. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes sense. So that's what I'm going to go along. At least you over there quiet. What's going on?
As a woman, she done
As
turned
a woman,
down.
she control her emotions. She controlling her emotions right now.
She turned down. I wanted, so as we were, I know we had a lot of like, you know, different things about like, you know, I think one of this kind of topic is like, you know, individual, right? So it's definitive, like of like what you define yourself as and how you show up in these spaces. And I think that that's the beauty of it, that we're able to like define it for ourselves of what we want and what we want it to look like. So shifting out a bit out of there, I just wanted to add some things to this because this is Women's History Month. And so I just want to, so I'm going to identify a couple things, you know, that came from without these ladies.
These ladies.
All right. So Wi-Fi, and I'm just reading off of something. Wi-Fi came from a woman.
A woman.
So we wouldn't even be on here.
If it wasn't
If it wasn't for the woman.
A woman.
GPS came from a woman. We wouldn't be able to get here.
You wouldn't know direction. You wouldn't know nothing.
Bluetooth came from a woman. You ain't talking to nobody.
You can work and talk at the same time because of a woman.
I didn't know that was invented.
Yeah.
And because guess what? A woman can multitask.
Yeah. Windshield wipers. Couldn't see nothing. Now you can see clearly now because of a woman.
Yeah.
Home,
and you better see.
Home security. Yeah. Home security systems came from a woman. So
a woman. Ladies, and y'all better show up.
Treatments for malaria came from a woman.
And
automatic dishwashers came from a woman.
Because a woman got tired of washing goddamn dishes. Okay.
Computer programming came from a woman. Coffee filters. Let me go down.
Women are powerful.
Monopoly was created by
and
a
that
woman.
game is crazy.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Right?
I believe it came from
It's
a
a
woman.
money game.
That
They
motherfucker.
know they money.
Yeah,
We
it's
know
10
that
hours
money.
long.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And I'm gonna add
Yeah,
this
that money.
chocolate chip cookies.
Came from a woman.
So yeah, so like we definitely, you know, again, we just, you know, want to hold space for that. We wanted to talk about this today. The original name of this was Rest in Bitch Face was the original name for this.
Yeah,
for
Rest in
this.
Bitch Face.
And but as we were talking the other
And
day,
Alicia got the rest of bitch face right
as
now.
we were
Look
talking
at
the
her.
other day, you know, it
Look at her face
came-
because guess what? She mysterious. Mysterious.
But we thank y'all. We thank y'all for
Yes,
like
thank y'all.
joining and you know being a part. Like definitely would like to hear you guys' like thoughts
Tap
about
in with
this.
us, please,
You know,
tell
even
us.
from the men. So like again, like I said, we weren't talking about this today to like ostracize men or push out men, but just
because
you
we
know,
want
hold
your
space.
opinion as well.
Because I
We wanna know.
did ask, you know, for opinions from men on my post of like, what's your perception of the women in your life?
Did you read some of those comments?
I can read.
Okay,
I
yeah,
can read a
read a
couple.
few.
I got a couple. Let me see. Let me go. Here we go. My post. All right, so we got a couple mixed kind of things. People, you know, have been hurt by women. So I have a guy who said he don't trust women at this moment because of experiences with them and the idea of double standards and things like that or whatever. And that's fair, you know, because again,
That's his perspective, and
but as we
he's
said, like,
entitled to
that
that.
definition of like how you present yourself as a woman is an individual thing, right? And so you can show up in somebody's life, and again, we talk about people hurt people.
We could tear.
Yeah,
we could
like
tear
you
it
can
apart.
you can be a villain in somebody. We can have women villains exist. So so that's
yeah. For sure.
This other person said his perception of women in his life is that they're outstanding because of their morals, their values, and integrity. And then my favorite one came from Mr. Marshawn, and I'm gonna shout him out. He said, "God's greatest masterpiece,
Period.
creation, and work of art. I always say God made women second because he had to improve on his first design."
What's his name?
Marshawn.
I like him. I like him. Say it one more time. 'Cause I like him.
God's greatest masterpiece, creation, and work of art. I always say God made women second because he had to improve on his first
Perfection.
design. Yeah.
Like
Women,
Yeah.
you are perfection.
Perfection.
You are
Alrighty,
perfect.
so we I think we really are talking about doing that, like more than an hour thing, because this evening,
Yeah.
like we've been like
Yeah.
sliding out to over an hour.
But
yeah.
it's so many things because it's so many things
it's
that we can
lives.
talk about in the midst of this
We
one
don't
topic.
always agree.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
but guess
it's
what?
beautiful.
As a woman, we all show up as that.
I think as women,
We all show up as
I
that.
think an important piece as women, though, like, you know, I think we should hold space for other women.
Of course.
And however, like, you know, women show up, because we
I
all
am
deal
open
with
to
different things. We
new
all
friends.
different.
Can I have new friends, Alicia?
Why you keep putting
Alicia, can I have new
What's
friends?
your beef with me, bro?
Now, let me tell y'all my beef with Alicia, okay?
Because
Where the camera is? Am I on the camera on me
Battle with the
completely?
short hair
what the
today.
fuck?
Listen,
I don't
it's
know.
not. Let me tell you something.
My
it's not
sis
no beef.
drama.
It's not
What's
no
going
beef.
on in here?
It's not no beef because I love Alicia for who she is, and I've learned who she is. I've learned how she come through, and she is a woman. She's a stand-up woman.
Thank you.
I love that about you.
Thank you.
That's why you are my friend. You are not just my friend. You're my action friend. You are a sister. You know what I'm saying? So as a black woman to another black woman, baby, you are beautiful. You are everything.
Thank you.
You are everything.
Thank
Your thought process, even in the midst of your thought process that could be different from mine, you stand on it. You stand 10 toes down, and that is a woman. You standing up because that's you. You are a woman. And don't ever think, I'm behind you. Yeah. Okay? I can't even say I'm beside you because, baby, I'm behind you. They come for you.
You looking at that ass. That's all you are.
And that's why I'm saying it on me, because she know I'm looking at the ass behind her. Because that's a mysterious.
Again, we thank y'all for joining. I got a little announcement though before we do it. You got my flyer up.
Post that flyer.
Mr. Mark.
Come out and support.
Mr. Mark. That don't know or not aware. I am a mental health therapist. I'm a holistic mental health therapist, and I also do psychedelic assisted therapy. And psychedelic assisted therapy is using things like magic mushrooms, psilocybin, MDMA, and ketamine with the use of mental health treatment. And so we have an event coming up on ready, set, let it go. Because again, as we talked about, we as women, we hold on to so many things.
Yeah.
We put on fronts, we put on faces. We got to be strong. We got to be covered. All of these things. Yeah. And so sometimes it's important for us to release and let it go. So it is a 2-part thing. There is an education and a meditation session. The education part is free, so you can come in. There are 2 other people that are on the panel in education with me, myself, along with another psychedelic who's very, very well known in the psychedelic world. His name is Mudu. And then the other one is Omari, who also does lecture series on the sacredness of black women. I
will be there. Y'all better come.
This event is not just for women; it is for men as well, because y'all got some shit to let go too. Yeah. Like y'all got to release some things as well. So it's for men and women. So the first part of it is from 10 to 12. That is the education portion of it, and then from 1 to 5, that is the meditation and medicine part of that. So you will be involving like the psilocybin with that, and so that's the part that does cost, but the first part of it is free. So come out and get that education on April 6th, beginning at 10 o'clock.
Come deal with it. I'm gonna be there, okay, and I'm gonna be a part of the meditation. I'm like, can we hum?
You can hum if you want to.
Yeah.
Do y'all hum?
If you want to.
I'm a humming. I'm humming. I'm letting you know right now, Shayna.
No, meditation don't have to be. You can meditate and walk down the street.
I'm humming.
You can meditate while you're here.
I meditate while I'm in the shower.
Yeah, it don't have to be silent. Yeah,
and all I hear is water and music.
You can make a noise like the om is a noise like that frequency in here, so it doesn't have to be quiet. That's so you can connect with yourself.
That's
with the
when
sound.
It feels good when you do that. Everybody do that. Love on yourselves today.
Sound meditation and stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah, so that's April 6th. But thank you guys again for being a part. And listening to us today. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Alicia, you gotta say it. I don't care about it. You have to say it. Fix
Love
that.
Love you all.
Mark not shutting us down until you say it.
Yeah,
my sis what?
I've been chilling.
My sis what?
My sis
podcast. We love y'all. Love yourself.
Thank you.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio.
S.I.S. Production.